thing to practice is just to do triads, because it's hard. Again, it's hard to single out notes. And over, that first chord is G, so I'm G blues. If you try to get all of those individually, and it's hard, and then even without without even the slide sound, and then you can slide into everything. But kind of the point is to kind of be able to grab notes when you want them. And then the key is muting over here. My nail's getting a little long, but it's okay. But I'm just hunting for these triads all over the place. So these are all C triads here. Hard to get that bottom string. And my action's too low on this guitar too. Anyway, I really wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today, and I pulled up the OBS and it had this graphic in there. I was like, oh yeah, we can keep going on that. Guess. Yeah, oh man, this action is really low right now. I need a neck adjustment. Oh yeah, that's dead straight right now. Needs some relief. I'll do it after we're done, and because I've got some sessions I have to do today. More game stuff, a lot of game stuff. A cool opportunity I got a couple weeks ago. That I mean, I was told it was approved, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything in Hollywood. So I don't assume anything until Beth knows that my saying is. The saying is, I'll believe it when the check clears. And for me, it was like, I'll believe it when the 10th check clears. When I first, the first real opportunity, again, it came at the right time, right when I was kind of thinking about, not giving up. I don't know. Like I said, I've wanted to quit this business multiple times. It took me forever to get going. So, you know that. Sorry, I'm peeking out a little bit, aren't I? Hey, TJ, what's going up? With a wound third string. Yeah, that would be... I wouldn't mind I don't have any electrics. One of my jazz boxes, I think, has a wound third string, but generally, yeah, no, I don't. I think that would sound good though. So one of the first opportunities I got was writing music for Let's Make a Deal, and a friend of mine was working on the show, and he and I wrote music together for it. When the first check came, it was like BMI royalties, and it was six to 9 months after we got the music on the show. Now, we got the music on the show almost immediately as soon as we started writing, so that there wasn't a whole lot of lag there, and the shows were airing. But see, once they film a show and put music in a show, they may not air that show for 6 months, and then that money doesn't show up for 6 to 9 months. Beth calls it being career pregnant. Happy Monday. And the first check, I can't remember if it was like $300 or something like that. I was like, oh, that's cool, And these are quarterly checks. And then the next one was like 800, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is good trajectory. I like it. And I think the next one was like $3,000, and it just kept going up from there. And we were working our butts off. I mean, at that point, we hadn't even made $1 an hour, I don't think. But well, maybe at that point we made $1 an hour, but we probably hadn't made minimum wage. It took a long time. That's the part of the business that most people don't have the stomach for, is kind of the waiting it out. That allowed me, the Let's Make a Deal income allowed me to quit teaching privately, and concentrate more on writing, and that's how I got to do more stuff with Justin Bieber and stuff, because again, I wasn't didn't have my day distracted by students knocking on the door and going, oh, that's right, I got a student. Or, I don't know, I'm sure it's true for everybody, but, for me, if I know I've got something at 1 o'clock, it makes it really hard to get deep into something. That's why I like doing this in the morning. It's kind of the first thing I do. And then I work after this. But if I set this at 4 o'clock, I'd probably, or 1 o'clock or whatever, I probably wouldn't get any work done until it was, after or something. But I like to try to get most of my best work done early in the day. Used to work at night. I just get too tired now. I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm ready for bed. I used to not be able to sleep at night, but now I can, no problem. So I guess I was using the SG, wasn't I, last week when I was playing slide, because this thing, like I said, the action's really low. It's almost hard to. Crazy that this top end is so bright. Oh, it's amplitude. Amplitude is such a bright. So, so yeah, that was what kind of kept me in the game. But like I said, we didn't buy a house, which was a good thing, because that gig dried up, and that royalty basically went down to zero. Mainly because we stopped doing music. They stopped using our music for the show, and then they stopped airing old shows because the shows that we have our music on are in the what is it, the 3:4 aspect ratio? No, what's it? Is it 4:3 aspect ratio? The original TV aspect ratio. Although I think the original TV aspect ratio was probably square, right? But they switched over to high def, and so they don't air those shows anymore because they just don't look very good. However, Pluto airs it 24/7. They have a 24/7 Let's Make a Deal channel on Pluto, and it's all the old episodes. So my music's on there all day long, 24/7, and I've never seen a penny for it. And recently, this last statement, I got $30 from Freevee for airing the episodes a bunch of times. That's actually a good trend, because there's a lot of music there. And the nice thing about that music too, the early stuff I did for Let's Make a Deal, I got to keep the publishing on, which is unheard of in television. Eventually, they figured that out about 2 years in. They realized what they were doing, and they're like, oh, wait, you don't get to keep your publishing. So we didn't owe them any money or anything like that, but at that point, immediately the next statements were half what they were, because publishing is half of the money. So if a song makes $1, 50 cents of its writers, 50 cents of it is publishers. So, yes, I think Gary, I think you're right. I think George Harrison. I should have mentioned that. Generally played. I don't know of him playing in open tunings at all, but you know, he was a very melodic slide player, right? He didn't play a lot of chords. He would do a lot of lines, and then he would harmonize. So he might, you know, and then he might. He might, you know, do some kind of harmony or something like that, stack three of them on top of each other. That was kind of his sound. Even back in the Beatles day, he played slide on some stuff in the Beatles time too. Didn't he play lap steel on something? I remember that from Get Back. I got the mug out because my Starbucks cup was leaking, had a bad seam. So that's, anytime you see me doing this, using this puppy, and thank you, Alex and Avriel, for this. Anytime you see me using that, that's why. Who just released a new CD? Pepper with a master's degree. Congratulations. Yeah, exactly. Everybody take a sip. Everybody raise a cup for Pepper. Congratulations, Pepper. So this progression that I have here is just a blues progression. Kind of a shuffle. 70. Why is it 70.35? I don't know why. Now, all of that, you know, you can do with a... All of that you can do with a slide. Yeah, so I mean, just finding all those triads all over the fretboard is not a bad thing. It's not a bad exercise, and you might as well do it with a slide in your hand. But it will start to unlock the whole caged method, which is pretty much when I'm soloing. That's what I'm kind of envisioning. You know, I got the C shape here. That's the G chord. E shape. Back to the C shape G. Up to the A shape G, and then up to the C shape C. What would that be? This would be the D shape C. Stevie Ray Vaughan loved to hang out in there, so you know he would do like in the D shape. He loved the D shape, so over G it would be like this. So he really liked it, you know, and then you can come down to the E form. So again the caged method is right here. You can see the shapes C, A, G, E, and D. It spells out the word caged, and so that's, you know, Stevie would use the E. Yeah, it's just... Guitar's not an obvious instrument. It's because of the way it's tuned with a third in the middle instead of all fourths. If we're all fourths, there would be more symmetry in the scales, but less symmetry. The chords would be more complex. It would be very difficult to play a lot of chords. I should tune a guitar in fourths and and then try to figure out chords. I could do I keep thinking of videos I should do. Let me write this one down. I can put it in there. Why isn't a guitar tuned in fourths? Why do you keep giving me this? Okay, so there's, let's see, where would that be? Here? No, here. No, that's not what I want. Here we go. Why is this all highlighted yellow? That's, oh, okay. Why isn't the guitar tuned in fourths? Yeah, I could try. I could probably just riff that one. Like I have the Dadgad one I want to do. I gotta do the Dadgad one because those tend to be pretty popular. But what were we talking about? Yeah, I don't know. You don't know. You weren't listening to me. Jimmy Page played a bit of slide. That's right. Yep, when the levee breaks to open G. He did play lap because I remember what was that DVD that I had? It was a 2 DVD or 3 DVD set of them playing at Royal Albert Hall, and he's playing lap steel at one point. And I think he's playing like an old Alex has one of the really old Rickenbacker ones. Let's see, Sadie. Oh, again, what album are we talking about? I keep missing. Hey, Margaret, what's going on? We got a couple new people here. Sadie, just released. Oh, Hollywood just released a new CD. Is that who just released a new CD? Let's see, Sadie. Oh, Molly Tuttle. I'll have to check that out. I will have to check it out. She depresses me because she's so good. Yeah, it's funny. And again, we've been talking about playing slide in standard tuning and trying to find any place where we have 2 or 3. We only have one place where we have 3 notes in a row. You can see the blue notes up there, right, at the 5th fret. That's the only, and this is C. That's the only time in standard that we have 3 notes that we can use in a row that are, major chord or part of a major chord. Everything else is a root and a 5th. We don't have that. There's not that much. You can see down here at the 3rd fret, down there. You can see up here at the 8th fret. Okay, and then you can see here at the 10th fret. Again, a 5th and a root. So this is 5th root. This is 5th root 3rd. This is 5th root, 5th root. So there's not a lot of spots that we can do 2 notes at a time. We can get those, but you have to kind of have to mute that middle note, right? Because we don't want that B, we would want that C. So like in G, hold on a second. That's G. So I'm envisioning this little triad, and here's a C triad, and I'm muting that middle string. Back to G. And the D is up here. The action's too low on this guitar. So, but you can see how I use that, but I'm muting, and that's with standard tuning. You really do have to get good at the right hand muting thing. Hey, Jake Williams, what's going on? Sorry, I just joined. Are you muted behind the slide? I'm trying to, Jake. Especially with this low action, it's getting me in a little bit of trouble if I'm not. It gets a little buzzy and rattly, even through the speakers. Acoustically, it's really bad. Like if you're playing on acoustic and you didn't mute behind. But I'm just laying my fingers very lightly. And then again, this action's too low. But yeah, I'm trying to keep my fingers, but I forget sometimes where I'm really muting is on the right hand. I'm really only plucking the string I want. And that's my point. With standard tuning, you kind of have to get that down a little bit. With an open tuning, you can be sloppy. Like, you don't need to worry so much about muting strings. So I would definitely approach, let me go to, it's easier to tune. This has got a whammy bar, so it's hard to tune to open tuning. Let me go back to the SG. I think that's probably the best way to go. But let's put that there. Yeah, I don't have a lot of electric guitars in here right now. But the SG's got a little bit higher action. So if I was open to tuning, it would be a totally different approach. And I'm going to do open G. Well, I could do open D. Yeah, but then I wouldn't be able to fret. So it would eliminate that aspect of playing. And so the string lifter is one of these little bad boys, and super duper handy on acoustic instruments. I use it on that dobro behind me. That way I can have it as a resonator and fret it and just play regular guitar licks on it. And then put this on, loosen the strings and put this under at the nut. And I'll get you a link for this. Hold on a second. I forget who makes it, but they're not expensive, and they're just good to have around. I probably have a couple of them because, here we go. Because one's on an instrument, and I'm like, oh, I need another one, and so string lifter, I think is what it's called. Guitar. Let's put guitar. Boom. Now, string cutters. Let me get rid of guitar. See. No, violin now. What is this thing? I don't even think is there a manufacturer? Nothing. Let me write dobro. Let's see if it. I know I bought it on Amazon. Seeing slides. All right, well, let me look at purchases. That is nice. You can search your orders and stuff. So I think I'll just go lifter and see if that shows up. No. String. Must be called something else. String mute. been a while since I bought it, so I'm going to have to go through these. Let's see. Maybe I didn't buy it here. Not for sure I did. It might have been something I saw on Amazon. I mean on... Well... On, I'm not seeing it anywhere. That's weird. Huh. It might have been something I saw on, what's that? It's like it's like an adapter kind of thing. String lifter slide. Anybody finding it? Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't a Grover Perfect. No, it's Golden Gate. Here it is. Slide. Well, yeah, now see that? Okay. I mean, it's $6. $6.30. Can't beat it. Copy. All right. Yeah, this is the exact one. Golden Gate. That's it. It just wasn't called what I thought. They're calling it slide guitar conversion or extension nut. Makes sense. All Parts makes one for, looks like $15, but this one works. It works fine. Totally works. Because it doesn't have to be perfect intonation because you're playing slide. So what am I doing? And I'm more of an open G guy. So G chord on this would be, so this is D, G chord would be here. So you can be a lot less concerned about open strings ringing out, generally. Oh wait, I was in the wrong, sorry, that was A. All right, let me turn this down though, it's a lot louder. When you're playing in blues, one of the things that kind of works on all four of the chords, okay, is you've got a G chord here. Well, technically, all the notes on the F chord right here kind of work. If you think about it, the F is the 7th, the A is the 9th, the C is a little on the weird side, but you go down to C to get that sus thing, like my favorite. So I'm in open D. I can write that out. D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. So tuning for that. And so that my favorite Dwayne Allman lick. Now I will still mute, or else you get this kind of drunk sailor sound. You can use a pick too. Oh, I keep forgetting I gotta hit that. Man, my brain's not working today. So, so what I was saying was, so we have the G here. This is as much for me as it is for you. 5th fret, G. Whole step down is F. And all those notes sound good sliding up to it from a whole step down. Same thing's true with the C chord. We got the C chord right here. You can almost make a scale out of it. It's really cool sounding, actually. It's a cool scale. Check it out. So over the G, I'm just going to do that. I mean, that's you're watching me discover something new right now, but I already knew that I could pretty much do, because all those chords in a blues, they're all dominant 7th chords. There's the tonality changes with each chord, so you're kind of in a, we could say Sam here, we could say G mixolydian, and then it goes to C mixolydian, then back to G mixolydian. Every time, whatever the root of the chord is, that's what kind of mixolydian scale you could technically play over. Now, mixolydian scale is going to sound a little bit maybe jazzy over blues. There's a lot of approaches you can do. A minor blues scale or a minor pentatonic would work too. But with this, with a mixolydian scale, just so you know, no quiz on this. Everybody take a celebratory sip, okay? But I'm going to give you this information, and then it'll bounce around in your brain. And then you'll hear it again, and then you'll hear it a third time, and then by the third time you might actually get it. But the mixolydian scale is the relative major scale is a 5th away. So if you take a C scale, we take a C scale. We count up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 3 major chords: C major, F major, and G major. So basically, what you're doing is you're bouncing back and forth between the 5 and the 4 chord. So in the key of G mixolydian, the 1 chord is major, and the 7 chord, the flat 7 chord is major. But if we think of it in the terms of its relative major, this would be the 4 chord, and this would be the 5 chord. So it's a very dominant sound, and you're going back and forth between those 2 chords, really hammering home that dominant thing. So here it is, right here. I mean, I'm just kind of going back and forth like that between those notes. Up to here at the 12th fret. You see that? All I'm doing is just so when you're in open tuning, all the notes. This is a G chord. This is a C chord. This is a D. So we have to go hunting when we're in standard for those the rare instance where we have 3 notes in a row that'll work, or for the most time we just have 2 notes that'll work. Here we have all 6 work technically, okay? But now it's about making something melodic with that. You could, but it's just not very interesting to me. Maybe it's a rhythm part. I can be a lot less restrictive on my right hand. Now here's another thing that you can in open D tuning. You got the G chord here. Okay. And so this is the third, and so the third up a minor third is the fifth. The fifth is here, up a minor third is the seventh, and all of those notes are good. So you can do, if you're on this chord, you're on the G chord. I'm on the 2nd and 3rd string, just playing them 1 fret at a time. 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, and then you go back down. Now they're not in key like these notes. This is B and D, and now we have C and E flat. Not really, you don't want to sit on those, but as a transition, everybody knows that sound. So you can totally use those. And then when you get to the C chord, oops, I keep going to the wrong fret. Right, here you go. So here's that implemented in the thing. That's pretty cool. Those kind of things happen, you know, in a couple places. Don't have another third that we can do that with. That one I would rather get to the B natural than the B flat. But you can get that. So that kind of creates, so what we have here is a G to the B flat, and then we have we have a D up to an F. It's kind of sounds like Star Wars, right? There's some Star Wars something in there. How are we doing? How many people do we have right now? Looks like we got a peak of 25. Not too bad for a Monday morning. But that lick, it kind of creates the, like if I was normally in G I would do, but kind of 4 to flat, major flat 3, which is kind of the George Thorogood kind of vibes. Of course, he would generally do it in open G, I think. So we're in open D, basically. Now, the other thing, so we talked about, like, obviously over a G chord, all of these notes are good. I can even sit on a G chord. Here we go. Really boring here, but basically. So all of those, but remember we learned about suspensions. And so if we look at the G chord here, we have a root, a fifth, a root, a third, a fifth, and a root. So we can do, on the root, we can do a 2-1 suspension. And it sounds a little weird that low, but here it sounds fine. We can do a 6-5 suspension. We have those 2 fifths, take them up to the 6th. I like to take them up to the 7th as well, but we're just talking about the suspensions right there. And then the 4th. So there's the 3rd, and here's the 4th suspended. So we have these notes down here below, and then we have these notes. Can't really do it. I don't have enough fingers. Well, I guess I get it with my thumb. But basically, these are all 5s. Here, the suspensions would be 7, 7, 7, 6, 7, 7. Again, 7, 7, 7, 6, 7, 7. Okay? So if I'm playing over this G chord, I can go up to the 2 here on the root. Okay? I can go on the 3rd, I can go up to the 4th. If I go on to the 5th, I can go to the 6th. And on the root, I can go back down to the root, go up from the 2nd. So. That's hard. Got to get rid of it. I'm not totally in tune. Let me retune again. Oops. Really? There we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah. So it's kind of cool. So you got this is kind of your home base, and then you can go down below and you go above. Let me fret it, not slide, using the slide. I mean, it's just pretty simple to, and then when the chord changes, you can just move the whole shapes. What happened to my bass? Where'd you go, Mr. Bass Player? Did I delete the bass instrument? Really? That's crazy. This is an old session, so oh, what is this? I gotta change this to contact 8. And then go to the bass. Search for bass. That's a million things are gonna come up by that. Sorry. Here we go. Let's just go with this one here. Music Man bass, let it load. Let's see how it sounds. It sounds like the one I had loaded. So it must be the same one. I got lucky. So, yeah, the bass player went on a smoke break. Exactly. So do you see what I'm saying? So like, we've got the G chord here, the C chord here, the D chord here, and this whole lesson is nothing about standard tuning. Let me put playing slide in standard. Let me edit this and open D tuning. All right. That way, otherwise I'm lying. So you've got the G chord here, the C chord here, D chord here, and then with this G chord you have that F chord, that all those notes work. So there's your. If you want to work out your pinky, you can do that. And then C chords here, we can go to the B flat. Just remember where your roots are. You got 3 of them here on the bottom string, 4th string, and the 1st string, and then the D chord up here. We got the 12th fret. We have all 3 Ds on the bottom string, top string, and on the 4th string. And then we just go down a whole step to C chord. And that's super Mixolydian sounding. I mean, really, there's only one note missing from the Mixolydian scale in that, and that would be the. So if I. Is that 6? That's the only thing missing. And then we can do the G chord, the C chord, and the D chord, and this time we go above, and everything's up a whole step except on the 3rd string where the 3rd is, the 3rd of the chord, right there, the B note. We only want to go up a half step. You could go up a whole step, but that would create a Lydian sound, which is, again, fascinating, because if you think about it, where's Sam? Sam loves this kind of stuff. But here, when we're playing the G to the F, again, this is the 5 chord, this is the 4 chord. All right. From the perspective of the F chord, this would be the 4 chord and the 5 chord. You'd be creating, from the F perspective, you'd be creating a Lydian sound. So check this out. If I did up a whole step with taking all 3 strings, I mean all 6 strings up a whole step. You hear that? Professor Sam is late. But there's that Lydian sound, right? They use that in the movies all the time to make you cry. Oh no, what happened to Timmy's dog? I don't care. So, and then we have the Mixolydian Lydian. Sharp. What is it? Would that be Mixolydian? Dominant Lydian, I guess that's what that's called. Again, where's Sam? Dang it. Somebody call Sam. But that wouldn't really work in the context of a blues. Okay? But it's just weird to me that this is, if you do these two, it's G Mixolydian. If you do these two, it's G Lydian. Okay? I think that's kind of cool. And again, it's again the 4/5 thing. Every diatonic scale has two major chords a whole step apart, every one of them. So, in the case of G Mixolydian, it would be an F and a G chord. In the case of G Lydian, it would be a G and an A chord. In the case of G major, it would be a C and a D chord. Those would be your 4 and 5 in the key of G. All right. Again, no quiz on this. Take a sip. I'm assuming everybody took a sip when I changed guitars. All right. So again, I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm doing. I'm going to go G chord down below the C. Okay, now there's a cool little moment there, right? In a blues progression, we typically, at some point, we're going to go 5 and then 4. I think it's right about here. No. Okay. Bam, bam. D to C. Okay. So what I did there was, remember, on the D chord, we can do all 6 of those notes and all 6 of these notes, the C chord, creating this scale. See if I can get rid of it. Right? Just 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. Okay, and then we go to the C chord, and we could go down there and do that, you know, we could do 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10. But right there, we're already there. We can do the suspensions on the C chord. So that would be 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 11, 10, 12, 10, 12. So check it out. When I go back and forth between D, all I'm going to do is change this note to this note. So when I'm on D, I'm going to have an F sharp, and when I'm in C, I'm going to have an F natural. Okay, so I probably should teach a lesson on this. I should probably do a video on this. Where is it? Where's that? Did I close that document? I must have. You know what? I'm going to move, copy, mix this and put it at the top. And then open D, below, I'm not sure how to remember this, below and above. Anyway, I think I'll try to remember it. I don't know why it does that. I hate that new feature. Max, Apple, the new update, it's like you drag up, I've got 2 screens, you drag something in the screen and it makes it full screen. I'm like, I just want a little window over here. The whole point of having 2 screens is to have more windows open. And it goes full screen when I drag a Word doc, and it's like, the Word doc is only like this big, and it's like going black. It's like, why would I want that? I got to figure out how to turn that off. That's got to be a setting somewhere. That's probably, let's see, system settings. I don't think it's in system settings. Yeah, well, there's a lot of settings here. Displays. No. Desktop and dock. Maybe here. I don't know. Anybody knows the trick to that? Let me know. All right. So all of this, let me put that there. Okay. All of this, these shapes and these observations about things you can do over with the major chord here. below and above it. I might have already done a video on this. It's really hard to play it like a blues scale. Ah. Woo. Yeah, that's not very, it's unusual. From the Google, to stop a window from going to full screen when dragging to another screen on Emma, disable the drag window to menu bar to fill screen option. Thank you so much. Desktop and dock windows. All right. Got a research assistant here. Desktop and dock. Okay, there. Windows. Let's see. I see here. Let's see. Drag windows to menu bar fill screen. There it is. Okay. Thank you. Unbelievable. So that was a default setting on an update. I should check more of these and see if there are other things that frustrate me. What was the other thing that? Oh, it's Logic that just does these weird, like, cannot solo track settings, and I'm like, stop it. Just stop. Stop trying to help me. I don't mind more features, right? I don't mind more features, but don't default to them when I update. Like, now, truth be told, I don't really watch do the little lesson that they give you. I just downloaded a new software, Dorico. I've been using Finale for, gosh, since the 90s. And they finally went out of business, and they did a cross-grade thing, so I spent $150 to buy Dorico, which is basically I'm just use it to create music notation for my YouTube videos. Probably could have done it with a free software, but I kind of like owning it. And Dorico is a good kind of what a lot of people are migrating to. Finale, Sibelius was the one I wish I'd done, but Sibelius wasn't around when I got Finale, so I learned Finale, and it kind of makes sense to me. So I'm going to have to relearn. So I am going to probably do some tutorials. The nice thing about tutorials, like with these massive softwares, is that they tend to be graduating, and I don't need to be able to do stuff for orchestras or choirs or anything like that. They'll probably quickly get me to lead sheet. I'll probably be able to do like a little side path where I'm doing tablature, because that's mainly what I want to do for you guys, is creating. That's what's keeping me so long to finish this stupid video I just did, is I've got to create all this tab, and Finale just doesn't make sense. You know, it's like you've got the notation up here, the music notation. You got the blank staff there. You drag it down. It asks you minimum fret, and you go, okay, I want it to be on the 5th fret. Everything's on the 5th fret. The lowest fret should be 5th fret, and it puts it at 0, minus 14th fret. I'm like, what? Why are there minus? There's no such thing as a minus 14th fret. So then I learned that you want it to be, you add 12 to where you want it, and because you're in the wrong octave. So it's, if I say, because guitars are written up an octave, if I say the 17th fret, then it drops it, everything, all the tab shows up in the 5th fret. But I always forget that. Like, it'll be like 4 months between using it, and I'm like, dang it, how did I do that again? So it's just stupid. So anyway, oh, hey, Sam's here. Holy cow, we've been talking about you for the last 3 hours. No, Sam. Okay, so for Sam, so he doesn't have to rewind. We're in open key right now. Okay, and I was just showing him how we can think about licks and stuff like that, and I was showing him that if we got, that's a G chord, and here's an F chord, and if we just play those 6 notes. Minus that note is basically a Mixolydian scale. So anything I do over G, the G chord, those will all work, okay? So all of that, and I could even solo using that. And then we talked about, well, if you remember our suspensions, here's our G major chord. Root, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root. We got root, well, we can go to the 2. On the 5th, we can go to the 6. On the root, we can go to the 2. On the 3, we can go to the 4. And on the 5, we can go to the 6. And on the root, we can go to... And, you know, if I'm going to go to the 6th, I might go to the 7th. If I'm going to go to the 2nd, I might go to the flat 3. But then I noticed that if we went up, just went A, we'd create a Lydian sound, right? Now, which we wouldn't really want in this. If we did a kind of a dominant Lydian sound. Cool, it actually works for me. So, and then just remember those shapes. The whole step down here, the whole step up except the 3rd string here, and when we go up to C chord, we can go to the whole step down. So if we do the whole progression. I figured you'd get a kick out of that, though. The whole Lydian, the Mixolydian, the dominant Lydian vibes in the blues context, kind of cool. And open tunings kind of bring all those kind of possibilities in. Really liking the sound of the F G scale, which is for the most part is a Mixolydian scale. If I were to play that, be a little weird. No. Yeah. You can see what I'm having to. You can see the F chord and the G chord there. Oh, everybody take a sip. Yep. It's a drinking game rule. If I change guitars, we take a step. It's kind of a cool scale. It's a 6-note scale. It's just F, A, C, and G, B, D. If I did the G Lydian, or the G dominant Lydian is one that most jazzers, kind of know that scale. So most jazzers know that scale. All right. What time is it? I do have work to do. Kind of a late start, but I hate to go for 2 hours. I hate to take all your time. I hate she's got weeds to hoe or something. I don't know. I know she lives on a mountaintop or something like that. People come up there to get the truth of the world. You know, I love Steve Martin's bit where he was probably on his first or second record, and he hiked up to this, he went to the Himalayas or Tibet. He went to Tibet and he hiked up to the top of a mountain where there was this where there's this monk. What would be up there, like a Tibetan? Help me here. Anyway, he goes up there and talk to this monk to find out the meaning of life. And I'll never, ever forget what he said. He said, always. Steve Martin. It's like, I feel like he was kind of the original self-deprecating comedian. I don't know how many others there are like that, but they're kind of intentionally like, I'm so stupid kind of comedians. Are there other self-deprecating comedians like that? That was one of the things the kids, we had when I was leading worship at church. I was having to go to church all the time, and it was about a half-hour drive each way. So on Saturday and Sundays, we had like 2 hours in the car every weekend with the kids, and I didn't want to make it a chore, so I bought a bunch of comedy CDs, and one of them I bought both of the first two Steve Martin CDs. I got. There were a lot of CDs. We had a lot of CDs by Bill Cosby, who just would riff and be funny. They call them monasteries. Yeah, there's a guru or something like that up down the mountain. That was the joke. I can't remember what he called it. I think it was a guru or some, he made it all real dramatic. And he goes, I'll never forget what he said. Always. It's like, you don't have to finish it, I can recite it, the whole album. Yeah, totally. Hey, Bill, what's going on? Do you have a mute? Do you have to mute the strings that are out of key? Yes. Yes, Bill. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about the last, again, in standard tuning. So this is open D. I'm going to go back to standard. And so generally when I'm playing slide, I'm almost always playing in standard tuning because it's something where I'm like live maybe, and I go, what would sound cool on this solo would be slide. You can't retune the guitar in the middle, in the middle of a song on stage. You just can't do it. And I know there's that Gibson guitar, the Les Paul, the auto tuning thing. Oh my gosh, I played that thing once. And you got all the patches, you can program it. It's like, holy, the headstock, it weighed so much. It was this giant mechanism up there. I knew it wasn't going to succeed. I knew it was like one of those things where, in 40 years, it'd be like, those things would be worth a lot of money because they never sold any. But there's a reason. But yeah, when I'm playing a standard, like if I see a G shape here, and I want to do I want to just go up, if you can see that, I'm at the 12th fret, whatever. I'm muting all the strings. See this? I'm just resting my hand on the fretboard. So my thumb is actually getting the bottom 3 strings, and my 3 fingers are getting the top 3 strings. And so whatever string I want to ring out, whatever note I want to ring out, I take that finger off. I use that. I might use different fingers, but and again, I can have 2 notes ringing out sometimes, but I don't. You don't want that A flat ringing out when you go up to the so. So generally, when I'm playing in standard, I'm muting a lot of strings. When I'm playing in open tuning, you can be a little more loosey-goosey with it, but you still don't want certain notes to ring out if they sound weird. Sorry, this nail is bugging me. Nail is just a tad too long. It's perfect for classical, but it's not good for picking the slide stuff. But so I probably shouldn't take this down too much because I'm not sure what I'm going to be. Oh, I know what I'm working. Okay, yeah, I'm doing heavy metal today. So every day is different. Yeah, I mean it's been crazy since I got back from Ireland. I mean it's just this is my work. This is like that's I don't know what that is. Yeah, so it's been a lot of, you know, I don't even remember what this is. Some of this stuff is pretty easy, you know, some of it's big. Oh, okay, yeah, this is, yeah, so, yeah, it's what it is. So, 900 plus videos, really? Holy cow! Well, so many of them are live. You're spamming everyone, Bruce. Oh, she's saying. Oh, she's yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, you use OpenD, yeah, and I'm more of an OpenG guy if I'm going to do an open tuning, but I'm kind of digging OpenD right now. Like I said, I may do a video on that little observation I had about the whole step below, whole step above kind of thing, and then yeah, I'll see. Did I do a? Let me check. What happened? Safari quit. Checking my YouTube channel, and I'm going to search my videos for OpenD and see what videos I've done on OpenD. Content. OpenD. Of course, this video is going to show up. Yep, this one. Boom, boom. OpenG2. Show all. Okay, some fun chords in OpenD minor. Some fun scales in OpenD. I may have to check that one out and see what I did there. But yeah, I mean, this play most any song in OpenD. That one has got 500,000 views. The OpenG2 tuning has only got 6,600 views. Some fun chords in D minor, OpenD minor is 31, but 31,000. And then some fun chords in OpenD. That one was 308,000, and that's an old video. That goes back to 2013. And those will have lower, you know, approvals, whatever. I still get 11 views in the last. So I've made 70 cents on that video in the last month. But I think of it as an annuity. If I make 70 cents off of it for every month, overall on that video, for how many views? 300,000 views, it's paid $750. Again, that's over 12 years. So I couldn't live on $750 in 12 years. But I like to try to be pretty transparent about what videos, how much they generate. And I'm not making much money from YouTube now, so it's like a couple hundred a month, something like that. Barely worth my time. Yeah, Derek Trucks, yeah, they're the best stand-up slide players. Yep. Well, and also, yeah, I like my favorite. One of my favorite lap steel players is Ry Cooter. I really like Sonny Landreth, Open D. I think he's got such a great sound, kind of a swampy vibe, and then the stuff he does behind the slide floors me. Yeah, so check out Sonny Landreth. And there's another Landreth that's no relation. That's a really good slide player, and I think he plays in like low open C, like baritone or something. He's got like a really nice tone, great tone, great ideas. Kind of makes me want to quit playing slide, but I have to do it for work. So anyway, okay, everybody, I am going to get to work now. Hope you're all well. I will see you next Monday, Lord willing, and we may continue on this. We'll just see what happens, but I will talk to you soon. I got to adjust the neck on this G&L and let it sit for a minute while I do some work. So, all right, God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Oh, Joey Landreth. Yeah, he's great. Joey's freaking amazing. They're both really good. They should do a show together. I think they actually have, but they're not related. So, and I'm not even sure if Joey had heard of Sonny when he started playing slide. I saw his interview. It was, hey, Richard, good to see you. All right.